moving on to Sandy Beach proposal.
Sandy Beach, so
Looks
it's a
good,
little
coming
difficult.
soon, April 2022.
April 2022, okay. All right, so this is
So you
something
can go
I've done.
swimming on May 1st?
Polar plunge, something.
So this is a creation of a crushed stone parking lot. I've got about 20 spaces here, about, if I can put my glasses on and read my own drawing. It's about a 90 by 60 foot parking lot, be all crushed stone so we're not creating any issues with runoff and drainage. And I'm also gonna propose a kayak launch at the end of a dock that's gotta go out. The only thing I have to ascertain is where the mean low water line is, so that I know the kayak launch is not sitting on the bottom when it's at mean low water, and you can actually launch a kayak during low water. So the length of that pier, maybe I'm showing it as 50 feet right now, that's probably gonna vary depending on when I get the final shots that show that. But I will have conversations with the same people, with the same company that we're doing with the Boy Scouts on the other two ponds so I can get it from there.
Is that jet dock?
That's a kayak dock, that's what it's called. For this, and I'll get this done because we want to get this project taken care of. So, no, as far as,
Money allocated too, we have money,
Right.
access to waterways.
So there's-
Signage would be great.
yep, signage, maybe we can name it after a selectman, no, I'm just kidding.
No,
No,
please, I
just
just
joking.
want, I just would like people
get
to
it
be
done.
able to launch their boats.
Yep.
So that's actually one of the questions I have is about funding and whether or not this should be a standalone project for funding at town meeting or utilize what's remaining in the access to waterways.
Well-
I worry what's in there now isn't enough.
And I'm gonna tell you, it's probably not, if I'm gonna base it on the estimates I've already done for the town hall parking lot and what the kayaks launches cost for these other two projects.
So let's talk about the timing of this. You have really two options if you end up going to town meeting. You can do it at the special town meeting, which would authorize an expenditure that could occur within this fiscal year. Or you can wait until the annual town meeting, 10 minutes later, 30 minutes later, whatever it is, and approve it at the annual, but that means the dollars can't be spent until July 1st. I don't think that's the way you want to go.
No. So what I could propose doing, unless someone has issue, is I could use the money that's already in the access to waterways to buy the kayak parts, buy the kayak launch and get that there, and at least have it back at the facility. Start buying materials with that, and then go as far as we can with materials. And then if there's actually, in other words, the parking lot behind the town hall, which was going to be a little smaller, we had an article of $50,000 just the materials, and we were doing the work. So again, I'll have highway people do the work. It's just a matter of getting the material. So it's 50 for that, and then I know already that it's roughly $10,000 to $12,000 just for the kayak launch, not including the dock section I'm going to have to do to take it out to mean low water.
Yeah, so you don't have enough money in the access to waterways account,
No.
because that's not what it was intended to do.
Correct.
And I guess that's where I'm going to turn to you. If that machination violates the spirit of the article, then I'd prefer not to do that.
Right. So I think it was started more, I wasn't here when it was started, but for like signage, legal
Yep.
ways in which to figure
Correct.
out.
It wasn't
access.
intended to
Not a
build
major
out.
project.
No.
So this one is a project in every sense, is a special article capital item in every sense.
And I'd be advocating we get this on the special town meeting.
Well, I would think so too, but and I would only ask that we reach out to the moderator and already explain to him why this would need to be on the special so that it could be used this season by our residents and we could get the project done. Let's say if we authorize it in May 16th, I believe is
That is our date.
the STM and ATM meeting, you could start spending the money on the 17th if it were appropriated. And that way that the facility could be available for use.
Correct. So
I
just
wanna-
so I can, so anyway, so now I don't have any money for consulting, so I will design this thing up so that we can build this thing. I'll get the parts ordered and I'll do that. And so in other words, I'll get it designed, I'll get it into conservation, I'll get a permit, do everything like we're supposed to do it, and then we can have it ready to be built once we have the funds available.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I believe we have a benefactor who's interested to provide kayaks and a kayak rack for this site for community members to use.
Okay.
So I want to talk through, but we've got to get it built out before.
Yeah. And the logistics of how those are used.
Yep.
Right.
You don't want them floating downstream, Mr. Mitchell?
All of a sudden, there are
With
no
no one in
kayaks.
them?
There's no kayaks left.
But the other objective of this too is obviously to provide 20 parking lot spaces so that people can go down there and instead of having to go to the boat ramp, they can come down here and just sit and look at the water and eat their lunch and whatever they
Don't
need.
go down that, don't go down that rabbit
No, I
hole.
know.
In
All right.
terms of parking at the boat ramp.
All right, last one, everybody's favorite, heavy vehicle traffic.
Okay, so I researched in the MassDOT manual,